Conservative new media viewers and MMA fans all around the world, what's up? It's me, JDV, Villarreal, the four-time national champion and the MMA expert, joined by Paulette Villarreal, the NBA expert by phone. And we're talking about UFC, we're talking about Frank Mir getting, in my personal opinion, destroyed by the War Master, Josh Barnett. And the War Master, in my personal opinion, just obliterated Frank Mir. He didn't have any respect, in my opinion, for Frank Mir and what he presented, and he went there and he's blasting him in that knee. Oh, he smashed him right in the face, dude, and then he went down like a sack of potatoes. And then Frank Mir, there's people talking, and Paul, there's a lot of chatter out there right now, perhaps, maybe, in my opinion. And look, here's the thing. Time out. What I want to ask the viewers out there, is there anyone seriously that is going to come in here and talk about this was an early stoppage or something like that? Is there anyone that's going to stand up for Frank Mir? I mean, Paul, I told you that Josh Barnett was going to just blow right through Frank Mir. Barnett, he looked big, his legs are huge, he's got the catch wrestling, he's got the experience, the punches, the kicks, everything like that. Yeah, okay, he got taken to school by Cormier, but Cormier, in my personal opinion, is the best heavyweight out there right now. I don't even care what you say about Cain Velasquez. I like Cain. Cain, you're cool. Thank you for the interview. No question about it. If you haven't seen my interview with Cain Velasquez, actually I had a number of different videos with Cain Velasquez. Check those out. And I love Cain. Cain's awesome. Total respect. But when you talk about Cormier, when you talk about that level of wrestling, Paul, he's able to just dominate so many fights with that level of wrestling and the fast hands and everything like that. But, you know, he may go down to 205. Let's not get confused. The point that I'm trying to say right here, right now, is that, okay, Cormier beat Barnett, but who else has beat Barnett, okay? And I think Cormier is the best out there. And you know who couldn't beat Barnett? Who didn't beat Barnett, in my personal opinion? Frank Mir, Paul.
Yeah, look, this was total destruction. I mean, honestly, look, I favored Barnett, or certainly we talked about that, but, you know, I thought it might be something of a contest. Basically, Josh Barnett walked right through Frank Mir, had no respect for his power or anything. He just went right at him and right through him. If there's people out there saying, you know, look, he knocked him down and basically, you know, referee stoppage with the knee to look like the temple or the side of the head, Frank Mir fell down, looked completely limp. It was over, in my opinion. That's it. Maybe he throws another punch. It's it. It's done. And if people want to say, you know, premature stoppage, no way. There was no way at all that Frank Mir had any chance in this fight at that point in the fight. He was already seriously hurt. He hadn't done anything to Barnett. His gas tank already looked low. It was over. That's the most impressive I've ever seen anybody beat Frank Mir. It was total domination.
Look, the War Master is tough. Josh Barnett is tough. You're talking about a former UFC champion. You're talking about someone that's been competing all over the world and stuff like that. You're talking about someone that is a veteran, but also has a size, has a stature, has different skills. He can strike, he can wrestle, he can submit, he can do all kinds of different things, and he's just an overall tough dude. Okay, Frank Mir, I never, was a fan of Frank Mir, okay? And yeah, the guy, he won some good fights, submission and everything, former UFC heavyweight champ, but it's like, dude, I always thought I just never thought he was that great, okay? And that's the bottom line. And, people can come in here and rake down the video, whatever, the little Frank Mir and the little keyboard dojo warriors, and you keep crying, you fools, because I'm someone that's actually gotten out there and been in some combat situations, okay? I'm someone that's been on the mat. Okay, I'm someone that's competed at a national and world-class level, and most of you haven't, and you don't know what you're talking about, but I do. And here's the thing: when I see Frank Mir, okay, when I see Frank Mir, I see someone that basically, if he can't submit you and he cannot muscle you, he's got nothing. Okay, in my personal opinion, or very, very little. Okay, and okay, yeah, he knocked out Nog. Yeah, hello, how old was Nog in that fight? Okay, number one. And number two, wasn't like Nog, if I'm remembering correctly, Paul wasn't saying he had like flu and all kinds of different things like that. Okay, I mean, yeah, if you're a heavyweight and you're sitting there and you basically, are out of it and someone pushes you in the face, you can go down. Okay, anyone can knock someone down. But the question is how good is Frank Mir striking to the average heavyweight? And my personal opinion is below par, like significantly below par. Okay, so if he doesn't catch you in a leg lock or a heel lock, or some kind of submission like against Tim Sylvia or against Brock Lesnar, what does he have? What does he have? Okay, and Junior Dos Santos, couldn't take him down. He got totally smoked, dude. Okay, Josh Barnett smoked him. Cormier beat him. Okay, I mean, so that's what I'm talking about right there. So, I mean, the thing of it is Paul, I just don't see how Frank Mir beats any of the top heavyweights anymore. Number one. Number two, I said it before, I'll say it again. I think Strikeforce, when they were going there, had, the best heavyweight class of any of the MMA orgs. And in my personal opinion, I think, that's been proven substantially, correct. We're seeing Josh Barnett, we're seeing Cormier do some great things. Okay, Overeem was going, but then not so much. Okay, so, you have, Cain Velasquez there, but we haven't seen Cain versus Cormier, and we haven't seen Cain versus Josh Barnett, and we haven't seen Cain versus Alistair Overeem either. So let's, let's keep that in perspective as well. Now, do I think that Overeem would beat, Cain Velasquez? I think Overeem definitely has some holes, but you know what? Who knows? It could be interesting. I mean, listen, Cain Velasquez, let's not forget, Cain Velasquez got dropped and taken out with one shot from JDS. So, I mean, Cain Velasquez could be, susceptible to some strikes as well. Again, I'm not saying that's I think here's my opinion. I think if Cain Velasquez and Cormier fight, I think Cormier wins. That's what I think right there. Of Velasquez versus Josh Barnett, I don't know. I love the work rate. I like the youth and the work rate and all kinds of stuff of Cain Velasquez, but the War Master is tough too. So that's what I'm talking about, Paul. I mean, I think that there's a lot of people, and Haratonov. I mean, Haratonov can do some stuff as well. I mean, but the other thing, with the MMA game is it's a young person's game, okay? That's the thing, okay? Well, what about this? Okay, yeah. But, I mean, at a certain point, even, I think Dana White said it, and I agree with him. You have a short window of time to make it happen. You got to make it happen. So, we can't look in the past. We got to look forward. So, right now, what I'm saying is Josh Barnett has, in my personal opinion, punched his ticket to go on forward to the next level at the UFC. Frank Mir, I mean, 3 losses in a row, Paul. What do you think happens for Mir?
Well, I think Frank Mir's in trouble. I think there'll be a lot of people, including Frank himself, that'll say, hey, this was a premature stoppage, let's get a rematch. But I don't think the rematch is going to look any different than this, except it might happen even faster. I mean, this happened in 2 minutes. I'm looking at the GIF right now. I sent you the link. I'm sure other people are already seen it on SureDog or whatever. The TKO. For me, it's clear. Yeah, Frank was still whatever, but I think when Brock beat him down, I mean, Frank wasn't responsive. He was done, in my opinion. The one other thing I will say about this is, remember, Frank Mir is former UFC heavyweight champion. Now, all the stuff, they bring in all these guys, and like, oh, they're no good, and everything else besides UFC isn't any good. Well, I guess Josh Barnett kind of punched a hole in that tonight.
Right.
So, I think Frank Mir's it's just about over for Frank.
Well, and now we're talking about that. Brock Lesnar was a former UFC heavyweight champion. What about that? And Brock Lesnar beat Frank Mir. So, I mean, if you want to start talking about all that kind of stuff, we can talk about all that kind of stuff. And that's what I'm talking about right there. The bottom line is look, JDS, great competitor. Cain Velasquez, tremendous champion. Give him respect. Obviously, JDS, former champion, give him respect, everything like that. But I think that the UFC, maybe we can all agree on this. The UFC now has some very interesting heavyweight competitors, and the division is getting even more interesting. And I think that this fight right here was interesting. And I think that Josh Barnett says that, you know what, I'm going to be part of that equation, in my personal opinion. What do you think about that? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with that? What do you think about what Paul says? What do you think happens now for Josh Barnett? What about Frank Mir? Do you think would you keep him in the UFC if you were making a decision, or would you say get out of here? And who should Josh Barnett fight next? And what about this whole Ben Rothwell situation, whatever like that? Okay, that was an interesting fight there with Vera, but Ben Rothwell, he's in the mix too. So there's some different things happening here with the heavyweight division for the UFC. I want to know where you're at on it, and you give me the comments below. Give me the comments below. Please subscribe. Please rate this video up. Also, please post it on your social networking sites. Paul, do you have any last words?
No, look, this was great. It's been an entertaining card, and the main event's still coming up. We saw Clay Guida got basically TKO'd. Vera, as you said, he was winning, and he got TKO'd, I believe. It's been a fun card, and we'll see where we go from here.
That's right, and that's what I like about MMA is that you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you have an MMA expert like me, and I can say, okay, I can look at this and this, but you know what? When the fight goes down, and different things can happen, and that's what we like, and that's what I'm talking about right here. So the bottom line is, in my opinion, is that Josh Barnett looked great. Frank Mir got destroyed, in my personal opinion, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. But I want to see Josh Barnett in one of those. I want to see him fight some of the best in the heavyweight division. That's where I'm at on that. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching Conservative Media. We'll see you next time.